Good morning on this Sunday, December 12th, as the darker days approach for the winter solstice. We are so glad that you've joined us today. I'm Martha Sinkula, your service leader. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist congregation. I especially welcome those of you who are watching our channel for the first time. Thank you for joining us. And as we all know, the church has been closed to protect our congregation from COVID. We all have the need and are anxious to see each other as beloved community again. To that end, the church will be having a get-together Sundays in December from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, beginning today, December 12th. One must be fully vaccinated and masked to attend and follow the sign-in protocols. Our speaker today is Reverend Dennis Reynolds, who is currently serving the UU Church of Eugene as an Associate Minister of Social and Environmental Justice. Dennis will be available today for our post-service discussion. Check-in begins at 11:15 and discussion begins at 11:30. The link is in this week's UmQuest. Just check it out and click on that. See you then. Thank you. Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Amanda Udis Kessler. A planet is born, a spark ignites, something completely new comes into being.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of life.
A waterfall descends, a rainbow arcs through the sky. The ocean opens to the endless horizon.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of beauty.
The stars pierce our hearts. Peace envelops us. We are blessed.
We give thanks for the mystery and magic and the miracle of wonder.
In the midst of pain, we find our way to hope and restoration.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of healing.
In the midst of fear, we do what is right and speak our truth in faith.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of courage.
In our aloneness, we see someone in greater need and offer ourselves to them.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of compassion.
We gather in community, in friendship, and cherish each other.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of love.
Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. So I'm going to line that out for you. I'll sing one line, invite you to sing it back with me. Bright morning stars are rising. Your turn. Bright morning stars are rising. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking. Day is a breaking in my soul. So let's try that whole thing together. Bright morning. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Let's try that one more time. Bright morning. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up from morning slumber. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up and hear your calling. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. voice to heaven. Oh, lift your voice to heaven. Oh, lift your voice to heaven. Oh, lift your voice to heaven. Day is breaking in my soul. We'll sing out loud for justice. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. We'll build this faith together. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning star, bright morning star arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. One more time, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking, day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking, day is a breaking in my soul. One more time. Day is a breaking in my soul.
I spent Thanksgiving Day this year in England, and there is no holiday on that Thursday. We did cook a turkey with all the fixings, but we did it on Saturday when people had the day off from work. But you know, Thanksgiving, taking time to give thanks, is a practice that should never be limited to any one day. It should be a practice we repeat often. In that spirit, I invite you now into a meditation of giving thanks, a meditation of gratitude. Sit in a way that's comfortable for you. It's often recommended that can mean both feet on the floor to ground us, with your back straight-ish and your belly just relaxed so breath can flow in and out. As we breathe in and breathe out, gratitude. Breathing in gratitude for life and out. Gratitude for beauty in and out. Gratitude for wonder in and out. Gratitude for healing in and out. Gratitude for courage in and out. Gratitude for compassion in and out. Gratitude for connection gratitude for love. Let's take one shared collective cleansing breath, breathing in deeply and out. Our reading today and the song that followed as Morning Has Broken is number 38 in our Gray Unitarian Universalist hymnal. Many of you probably know it as from the version that Cat Stevens, who now is named Yosef Muhammad, recorded back in the 1970s. He did not write it, and it's been around for quite a while prior to his recording. You see, Morning Has Broken is a Christian hymn, first published in 1931. The words are by the English author Eleanor Farjeon. She was asked by the rector of her local church to offer words for a Thanksgiving hymn to be set to a traditional Scottish Gaelic tune. Farjeon, seeking inspiration for her writings, reportedly went for a walk. I suspect more than one walk. Along the valley of the river Cuckmere and over the grassy downs that surrounded and still surround her village of Alstrom in East Sussex. The beauty she saw there inspired the song. I had the good fortune to travel to East Sussex just a few weeks ago. Suzanne and I went to England last month to meet our new grandchild, Noah, who was born in August. Before we left, I reached out to a member of our Eugene UU congregation named Keith Oldham. I knew him from climate activism within the congregation, and both of us are members of a community group called Interfaith Earthkeepers. Family needs and COVID-related travel restrictions had stranded Keith and his wife Karen in England for a time. It had turned what they thought was a 4-week holiday into a 2-week sabbatical from their life here in Oregon. While in England, Keith still regularly attended the Zoom meetings of Earthkeepers. So before we left, I sent him a note telling my plan to be in London for a time and asked him where in England he was. He replied that he was just a 1-hour train ride from Victoria Station and invited us to come for a visit. So Suzanne and I arose early one morning, and via the London Underground and the National Rail Service, we soon found ourselves in the village of Seaford. Seaford is a quaint little town with weather-worn painted houses and shops interspersed with some very old stone structures and even older-looking stone walls. I found myself imagining Seaford as the location for some BBC mystery drama. Keith met us at the station and gave us a quick tour of the village with stops at the new community climate hub, a resource center and meeting place to educate and advocate for climate issues. And we took a trip through the courtyard of the village church, where a small tree planting project that Keith had initiated is planned. Then we picked up some fish and chips, what else, and took it to the family home for lunch. Then after lunch, with his wife Karen and his sweet mother, we set off on a walking tour. We wandered the downs and walked the rubble-strewn beach below the great white chalk cliffs known as the Seven Sisters. After our scramble along the beach, we climbed the grassy down and looked out upon the meanders of the river Cuckmere. This is the place, Keith informed us, where Eleanor Farjeon found the inspiration for the words to that beloved song. It is a stunningly beautiful spot, and it is an inspirational spot. The three of us were inspired to sing a bit of the song together there on the windswept down. Morning has broken like the first morning, blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. That particular day was no longer new. The soft light we experienced was not the light of the morning sun low in the sky, but rather the late afternoon fading light of what would be an early winter sunset. But Keith had other sights to share before darkness and the dinner Karen had prepared, so we picked up our pace and strode out over the windswept dunes. We hopped in the car and traveled through winding, hedgerow-bordered roadways back through the edges of Seaford. We skirted that nearby village of Aldrich, and Keith pointed out where amongst the trees we could see the steeple of the so-called Cathedral of the Downs, whose long-ago vicar had encouraged Farjan to craft words that expressed the sense of awe that many label as divinity. We stopped along the road to graze across the fields to a massive shape edged into the hillside. It was the Long Man of Wilmington, or as he is sometimes called, the Wilmington Giant. It's a huge stick figure carved into the chalky soil under the green brush of that steep hillside. He's some 235 feet tall and has existed there on that hillside for centuries. Some say he was created by monks in the 12th century. Others say he is much older, perhaps from as early as the 4th century. He is now maintained by the East Sussex Archaeological Society. We then drove just around the bend to the village of Crowhurst. There, in the courtyard of that church, is an ancient yew tree whose planting is reported to have been around the year 700. The nearby church where we lingered in the fading light dates to the 1200s. In that ancient and awe-inspiring small church, we saw one modern adornment, a small electronic card reader where one can, with a simple chip click, use a credit card to make a donation for the preservation of the church. The Southern Downs are a land filled with history and wonder and new beginnings after new beginnings after new beginnings. We looked at wonder of all we saw, the natural beauty and the creations crafted over the centuries that beauty has inspired, and which seek to offer a reflection on feelings of wonder, calling us to praise with elation, praise every morning God's recreation of the new day. The sense of awe-filled appreciation for the reoccurring, constantly unfolding of beauty of each new day, and the efforts to find words and music to honor such everyday miracles, call to mind for me another poem, Why I Wake Early by Mary Oliver. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories and into the windows of even the miserable and crotchety. Best preacher that ever was, dear star, that just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warm touching, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Watch now how I start the day in happiness, in kindness. There are times and there are places where we can almost touch grace and divinity. Times when awe and wonder seem to just tumble down. Early morning and near the ends of each day offer to us in their soft light a special opportunity to capture nature's beauty. Photographers know this to be true, and painters have known and used this public secret. Jean-Claude Monet is famed for having returned to the same spot sunset after sunset to capture the essence of the light that shined at a particular time of day, creating a special glow from a simple haystack. Some, like the poets Eleanor Farjeon and Mary Oliver, and painters like Monet or the great English painter J.M.W. Turner, whose awe-inspiring paintings also capture the essence of the sea and sky of Suffolk, have the talent to capture the beauty and pass it down through time as gifts to us. But you need not be a poet or a painter to experience the awe that such works were inspired by. Nor do you need to travel across the world to find it and experience it firsthand. It's here, all around us. In Southern Oregon, we too are gifted to live in a place of awe-inspiring natural beauty. The feelings of deep appreciation for natural beauty and awe for creation expressed in the song, "Morning Has Broken," is not unlike what I have felt as I wandered the headlands at Shore Acres State Park near Charleston, or at Cape Blanco, or the tidelands where the Umpqua River meets the sea. Upstream, from the coast to the Cascades, both the South and North Forks of our own beloved Umpqua gift us with amazing, breathtaking, and humbling beauty. That beauty is there too in the sky. That stunning beauty that Turner captured with parents, with paint, is there for all of us. There is a special freshness and newness we can feel in our souls whenever morning has broken. That fresh wonderment is there also, but all too often I do not stop to savor it. Even in retirement, I am too often too busy to stop and to see it and to appreciate the beauty and let it sink deeply into my being. Some days, when I walk and look with intention, I can find that feeling just outside my back door. It's there in the undeveloped patch of meadow where I often walk at dawn and at sunset with my difficult yet loving dog Amy. It's there in the many parks in and around our community. It's there in our gardens amongst the now bare trees and the fading, decaying plants that will feed the next season's new flourishings. It's there in the crazy fluttering dance of the birds under the feeder outside my dining room window. It's there amongst the forest and grasslands and oak savannas of the rolling hills I drove through on I-5 on my way to church this morning. It's there in the sparkling eyes of those we love, and in those times when we can safely encounter each other without masks. It's in each and every smile, most especially in the sweet and innocent smiles of the very young. As I noted, we did not travel to England to walk in natural beauty. We went there to see a baby who is very special to us, the truly wonderful Noah Reynolds Schwartz. We had time in our 2 weeks plus staying in a London Airbnb near their small flat, time to just watch and savor Noah beginning to discover the world. In the ways that babies know from birth, he was enhancing the special connection that exists between him and every person he encounters, but most especially those he has already learned to love. Noah's loving connection with his parents was heart-expanding to view. Researchers have shown that even the tiniest of babies are drawn to the form of the human face. It seems we're hardwired to connect with other people. One of the many challenges of this pandemic has been the masks that reduce our ability to see each other's full faces and full smiles, except via Zoom. Out there in the world, we often have to settle for the twinkle in a friend's eyes or in a stranger's eyes. In that London flat, we had no need for masks, and so I was gifted with many opportunities to just look at Noah as he looked at me, smiling and trading cooing sounds as he explored what it means to be and to see and to smile and to make noise. Zen Buddhist teachers speak of something they call shoshin, meaning beginner's mind. It refers to having an attitude of openness, eagerness, and a lack of preconceptions when studying a subject or experiencing an object or a place, even if you've experienced it before, just as a beginner would. Noah has a true beginner's mind, seeing everything as though for the first time. To him, every day is the first morning. Shoshin is seeking to see the world as a young child would, to be more like baby Noah, exploring with wonder each new face and every new experience. Watching children see a sheep or a cow or even a dog for the first time, or when they interact without abandonment with art materials or simply mud, it can offer us reminders of what beginner's mind really looks like. Noah's sweet, fresh smiles offered me repeated images of what beginner's mind, Shoshin, is all about. Young children can be, and often are, profound teachers. The Zen teachers remind us that practice and intention can help us maintain, renew, and cultivate ways of looking at the world with beginner's mind, free of preconceptions and old attitudes. Seeking beginner's mind is part of practicing seeing things as they are, rather than as we expect or predict they will be. The freshness I see in a child's face, or sometimes in the glimmering eyes of someone who is very old, can call me to remember how I might utilize beginner's mind to see the world more clearly and compassionately and lovingly. Poets and painters bring such an inspired openness to their creations. We can all, each in our own ways, cultivate and nurture such a worldview. It's a matter of practice. It's a matter of taking time and making time. In the wee hours of the morning this week, as I wrote the final phrases for this sermon, I was hunched over my keyboard, diligently typing away, when just for a moment I looked up. Outside my window, I noticed morning had broken. I stopped typing and just looked on for a time in wonder. On the wooded hillside that I can see from my office, a patch of sunlight from the sun that had just risen over the rolling hills to the east had begun to illumine the top of the fir trees on the ridgeline. Then gradually, as the sun crept over the hill, the light spread downward among the branches, bathing the whole earth in its beauty. Then the light dimmed and softened. You see, a cloud had passed over the sun. And yet it no longer shone brightly. I knew in the depth of my knowing it was present there, shining, teaching me, reminding me of awe and inspiration. As Mary Oliver told us, best preacher that ever was. Dear star that just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warm touching, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. May we and all creation be blessed with many such mornings, and may we strive to remain open to experiencing them with awe and wonder and deep gratitude. May it be so.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this fellowship, whether near or far, we're blessed by it, for the bonds we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this fellowship. Oh, we give thanks for this fellowship, whether near or far, we're blessed by it, for the bonds we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this fellowship. Oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For this precious day, we're all gathered here. We're gathered here, and those far away. And those far away. For this time we share. For this time we share with love and care. With love and care, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For this precious day, oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For this precious day, we're all gathered here. We're gathered here, and those far away. And those far away. For this time we share. For this time we share with love and care. With love and care, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
The words for our benediction are from the poet Edna St. Vincent Millay. Great voice that calls us into the wonder of dawn, strange voice that calls us in the heat of noon.
Heard in the sunset, heard in the moonrise.
And in the stirring of the wakeful night.
Speak now in blessing, chide us no longer.
Great voice of love, we will not grieve thee more.
Shalom, salam, amen, and blessed be.
Oh.